Very good evening to you, good afternoon, good morning, depending on where you are watching us from. My name is Ambassador Benjamin Oswansa, and you are warmly welcome to the Power Impact Series show. Today is going to be another wonderful thing. I mean, it's proudly brought to you by the African Season Speakers Network. Were you here last week? If you were not here, don't worry. Just go back to the videos and watch, and then get the whole nugget that was shared with us. Today is also going to be another wonderful time, because in the studio here, it's somebody you want to listen to over and over and over again. You wouldn't want to stop listening to this guest that we have for you here. So, in just about some few minutes time, I am going to see you the guest for today. But before that, I would like us to take our first commercial break, and then right after that, you'll see the guest we have for you today. So stick around, don't go anywhere. Thank you.
Need a spark to kickstart your innovation? Looking for thoughts and talks to get things moving? Wondering how to navigate a future full of change and uncertainty? With the eye-opening stories of digital disruption, extreme customer centricity, organizational innovation, and global shift, our collective of speakers, MCs, and moderators will shift your perspective. Meet our speakers. For booking and interviews, contact us on 0246 054092 or send us a mail info.accessnet@gmail.com. You can also follow us on all social media channels at AccessNet Global, African Seasoned Speakers Network, influencing the next generation of Africans.
Welcome back to the show, the Power Impact Series. And as I told you, in the studio today, I'm just loving what I'm going to hear today. I'm just loving the nuggets we're going to share today. So, let me just do a little intro about the person we're going to have today. Then from there, I'll just let you continue with the introduction by the speaker herself. Right, so the guest is a sociologist. One is a founder and then a CEO for heavenflights.com. This guest that we're talking about is an author. She's written a lot of books. She'll share some with us. She's an inventor as well. Not only that, and the main topic for today, she is an entrepreneur. And you know something? I think if we had allowed the family to continue the legacy that the Jackson 5 left, they would have picked up as the next Jackson 5. But that didn't happen. So, ladies and gentlemen, in our studios today is no other person than this wonderful person I'm going to introduce to you. She goes by the name Dr. Melissa Dotson. Dotson is here. Dr. Melissa, how are you doing?
I'm doing wonderful. Thank you.
That is her for you. So all that I said about it, this is what you've seen. That is the person you were seeing there. You know, she can play the guitar. She can play the piano. And last secret I want to tell you. You know, her grandmother used to sing in the opera theater, or she was part of the opera squad. So today, let's listen to the voice that has been passed on from the grandmother to the granddaughter this evening. Right. Dr. Melissa, you are looking beautiful.
Thank you so much.
Right. You're welcome to the Power Impact Series, where today you're going to share with us some beautiful nuggets about entrepreneurs and some of the fears they do encounter, and then why some of them are referred to as side hustlers and stuff. So, but before that, can you just tell us a little bit about yourself so that we get to know who we're going to listen to today?
Well, a little bit about me is I say that I have taken on the essence of who I am is basically I was groomed and grown from a wonderful woman. She passed away when I was in Ghana, which was this May the 14th. She was a product powerful product of my life, Odessa Parr, which was my grandmother who could sing opera. She was in a choir. Um, the same choir that Juanita Byman, prophetess Juanita Byman, came out of the
Right.
same church. Yes,
Okay.
so that was my grandmother's church for years, Bethel Full Gospel
Right.
in Queens.
Right.
And so a little about me is my name Dotson was given to me at the age of 6. It was Dash. I was born Dash by my mother's birthday, not my father. I didn't know my father at that time. And so Dash, my mother is a Dash with 3 other siblings that were a Dash. And my grandmother was married to a Dash, her first husband, before she got married to a second husband. So the Dash are my cousin in the industry, Damon Dash. His father and my mother were first cousins. And Stacy Dash. We have Michael Dash, which is a musician, a blind musician, which is my uncle, my mother's brother. And so a lot of who I am is the Dash characteristics. And my birth father name was Heron, Eugene Heron. I didn't meet him till I was 15 years old. And so I grew up in Queens, New York, St. Albans, Queens, where a lot of the people that are well known in the industry came out of. LL Cool J, Jodeci. We have Lena Horne, the famous actress, Count Basie, James Brown. James Brown, as I said, used to come to our house. He played guitar with my uncle. So we had musicians in our family, and they sang gospel. They sang, they did jazz, guitar. I learned how to play the guitar, the piano growing up from my uncles. So music was a part of our life. James Brown took my mother to her graduation. We did have a picture of proof. I saw that growing up with him and her. And so basically Queens, New York, I settled for most of my years. That's where I've been. And then the last 2 years now, I moved over to Jersey. So I had 3 kids, and they're adults, nurses, paramedic. I have a paramedic, 1 in business, successful adults, and 5 grandchildren. And New York City is born and bred who I am, and Heaven Flight is in Ghana.
Wow, that is massive. But are you a singer yourself? Do you sing?
Yes, I can sing. I never took vocal coaching. My grandmother used to coach me. Apparently, out of 10 children that she had, my mother is the only one who could not sing out of the 10.
Wow.
So the singing got passed on to me. And my grandmother used to say, "Oh, you can sing, you can sing." And I used to think could feel I can sing. But my uncle, who was blind, would harmonize with me, would teach me, basic vocal things. And he said, "You just have to believe that you can." But to me, I never could sing. But I've had family, people can hear you, but you don't hear yourself. And so it took a lot for me over the years to say, okay, I got to believe at some point that I can sing. So a couple years ago, I stepped out of my comfort zone. Now, I'm a person who did comedy. I have done auditions. And for movies, I went ahead and did auditions, wrote my, own piece to pass auditions. And I done a comedy stand-up at a club in Manhattan. I took my daughter. She was the only one that showed up. So getting out of that, taking risk and getting out of that, that comfort zone and saying you can do this, even if nobody really says you're all good. So a few years ago, I started singing. I was the only flight attendant on the Delta Connection flight for Endeavor Air, far as that I was told. And I decided to sing to the passengers and the kids. So I bought a flight sometime to Florida. One time I had 17 kids on that flight. And sometimes whenever I had a kid, I sing, because we would give out the wing, little plastic wing, and you give it to the kids. you know, you have children that are fearful, never flown before. You have some adults that are fearful. But I used to notice giving these wings out. For me, I'm just giving a wing. Like, it doesn't do much. I want to like do something behind that wing. So I wrote this song. So whenever I give out the wing, I would give it to the kid. And didn't know there was a viral video of me as well that was online that went viral because somebody caught me singing to an autistic child. And so I would give the wing, and the song would be, so depending on the child's name, and even if I had to do 8 of them on a flight or 15 on a flight, and sometimes I get an adult, well, it's my birthday, can you sing to me? And I was like, sure, why not? So I was sing, you are wonderful, you are precious.
Oh, right.
Thank you for flying with us today. You are amazing. Oh, yes, you are. You are mighty. Thank you, Emily, for making my day. Thank you for flying with Delta. And I would give the wing in the song.
Wow. That's what was that a side hustling, because this was not part of your own role and your own description as a job person or as an assignment on the flight.
Yeah.
That's amazing. That's something you did on your own.
Yes, on my own. So no matter how tired I would be, I will make sure I would give that song and the wings. And it made a difference with all the passengers. See, we have the power to create comfort and make comfortability and peace and love and empathy for other people. And even if you're feeling at your worst, I was doing flights in between my personal days. I go to Ghana and then I would come back, work my flights. So no matter what jet lag I was feeling, no matter how tired I was feeling, everyone got a song. And I worked with a flight attendant who was not happy. One flight attendant complained and tried to get me written up for something that she thought I was doing that was not standard, because she rather sit in her chair and look miserable. But because somebody creates happiness and peace for some other people, some people are not going to be happy with you. And that was a part of, you know, in that type of aviation field, that you will meet people that you people, when people ask a question doing job interviews, what made it difficult for you to work with someone else? I hate that question. I hate that question, because I would have to turn it around and I would say, I'm not difficult to work with someone. They are difficult to work with me. And I would give the example. The word difficult, if you define it, if I say, and I answer that question, I'm difficult, did I find it difficult to work with someone? Then I'm saying during that process, I found it still challenging. I couldn't get around. Right. There was many hindrances. I couldn't do the best of my ability to work. I was maybe distraught. I become upset. I'm finding it very uncomfortable to work in this atmosphere with a person. So I always turn that question around. No, because see me, while you are making it difficult for me, I'm still going to be remaining happy. And I'm going to offset everything that you do. I'm going to offset, give it back to you. And you're not realizing that I'm giving it back to you, because my disposition and my way of showing empathy is not taking anything that you do personally.
Well, you know, let me just read the comments from the viewers. So you're welcome. If you joining us, just let me know where you're joining us from. Just hit me in the chat area where you're joining us from, and then what you just think about Dr. Melissa. One of our viewers says she sounds like the voice in a Black American movie. So you need to pick you need to pick up your singing career back so that we can have it in most of our American movies. Right. So if you're joining us, we're here today with Dr. Melissa, and that's Heather. She's a sociologist and also the founder. She is the founder and CEO of heavenflights.com. She is an author. She is an author, and again, she's an international speaker on a lot of international, well respected platforms, as well as she is an eventer and then an entrepreneur. So these are some of the links that we'll be sharing with you in the course of the program, so that if you want to contact her, you just get all that you need to know from her. Right. So straight to our topic for today. And a topic for today is why entrepreneurs, or why are entrepreneurs fearful of money risks, and why some entrepreneurs are really side hustlers. So in your simplest form, who is an entrepreneur, Dr. Melissa? Who is an entrepreneur?
Well, definitely, I say this. Entrepreneurs, and if we look it up in the dictionary, entrepreneurs are a process of discovering new ways of combining resources. And so when the market is generated, say by this new combination of resources, it's greater than the market value. So these resources of an entrepreneur can generate elsewhere individually or in some other combination. So where entrepreneurs make a profit. So to clarify what they really are meaning when they put it in Google, an entrepreneur who has the ability to create multiple resources, can be multiple streams of income, and they are doing different things. So you have a combination of, I'm an entrepreneur, and down, I'm doing platform speaking. I have this other business. I have maybe multiple stores. I have franchises. So wherever there are multiple resources that came in, and they divided it even into one business, so they can continually have profits going. That is an entrepreneur who is working digitally. And a lot of things about entrepreneurs is real entrepreneurs know how to hustle. But we're not talking about the side hustle aspect, but you have to be a hustler, understanding the aspects of hustler to get to the entrepreneur. And you have to understanding the sales techniques of if you're an entrepreneur, because sales is important in order to get to the resources of what you need to do.
Wow. So all entrepreneurs are hustlers.
Yes.
Okay. So then what makes them fearful about money risks if they are hustlers?
Well,
On what terms? How do you also define the term hustlers? I want to get the understanding of who a hustler is, or what is hustler, or
yes.
Yeah, kind of. I want to just know that so we can put it in the context here.
Yes. Well, the side hustlers are people who get gigs. Say, for instance, you can have a musician that is starting out and he has to get a gig to perform. And he may have a regular professional job until he starts getting paid and things like that. That's a side hustle. That's a side hustle job. Artist is not an entrepreneur. That's a side hustle job before they become a musician. So they're working on different gigs, performing. So it's additional job that some people do. And so a lot of the additional jobs, I can give you a list: virtual assistants. You may have people who are content creators, blog writers, vlog with the VLG that people do all over on YouTube. Those are side hustling jobs. You have writing a blog as well, online app testing, freelancing. Now, travel agents are side hustle jobs. Now, the only way a travel agent is not a side hustle, doesn't have a side hustle job, is that they did the proper format for business, getting a travel agent, not just the ID, but doing a business. So it is their name, their actual name, their copyright, their trademark, and they own the legal aspects of that travel agency. But the travel agent itself, where they're licensed and they come under the IDA ID, and their name, they can't change the name to their name, but they're using the company's name, and their name is added on. That is still a side hustle job as a travel agent. And so affiliate marketing, that's a nice side hustle. Answering calls, art, somebody who just does art posters and maybe design, someone who sits in a nail salon. She's not an entrepreneur. That's a side hustle job as a nail tech. And she may work another job, even if she don't. So there's certain things that fall under tax codes, depending on the states, what is side hustling and the entrepreneurship. Yeah. And a book author is actually a side hustle. Book author is not an entrepreneur.
Right. So how do you combine, or how do you manage your regular kind of job together with your side hustling? How do you juggle around them so that both become profitable to you, so we don't have any kind of conflict of interest in these areas? How does one manage this too, your regular job and your side hustling?
Okay, well, I say too, if some people are working for a professional company, a lot of companies do require, some have it in writing, that they do not hire people if they have other side jobs. So you have to make sure, if you're working for someone, or know the information, that it doesn't interfere. When I was a flight attendant, I had to make sure that even though having flight, it wasn't a side hustle. I had it been working the work since 2009, but being a flight attendant, I have to make sure that my work and my NGO in Ghana didn't interfere, meaning it's not causing me to cancel flights and then I can't find a replacement for my flights. It's not interfering where it's causing me to be sleepy. I can't fall asleep in a jump seat. Number one, you will be fired automatically. So I had to work around the schedule difference. A lot of flight attendants have jobs as entrepreneurs, and some that are just side hustling jobs that they do. And it's not easy in the aviation field to work around those perimeters that you're given, in terms of when you're not flying, how do you do this business? It's not easy. So as a flight attendant, many flight attendants who have progressed in their businesses, it is one of the toughest things to remain doing that in the aviation field, offset, while you're not flying. So you really have to find a time. You have to have strategy. Strategy is so important. And you must be able to time manage everything that you do. So if you didn't learn time management, you didn't learn strategy, get into the aviation. It's like the military. It will kick you in your butt. It will boot camp you from 1 to 10 and make you so dependable. You'll be crying out to learn everything else that you could possibly. So if you're a person who hasn't really learned those things, you're going to have to grow into entrepreneurship, because entrepreneurship it's a hit on, where you either do or you don't, or you die trying, or you're going to, at the end of the day, you have to really learn how to mix those things with another business. And as long as it's not conflicting, there's no conflicting going on.
Right. So is it because it's a side hustling activity? That's why entrepreneurs become fearful about money risks.
Well, I can tell you what the fears are with entrepreneurs. Over the years, when I had started out entrepreneurship, I myself had a few fears. And one of them is that number one, um, I don't have money is the first mentality that an entrepreneur has with money risk. I don't have money. So they have a broke mentality. Okay, so that's one of the fears, the broke mentality. You can't be that way if you're going to be an entrepreneur. Number two, they're not willing to sacrifice their last amount of money. So they want to venture into entrepreneurship, but they have a fear. So they will not sacrifice their last bit of money from any type of way that they can possibly get it, even if they have it. Number three, the excuse is it's bad timing that they make. It will always be bad timing. So when somebody is fearful of money risk, they say it's bad time. It's the same thing. I can't sign on. It's bad timing. It's always going to be bad timing to them. They're not going to see the opportunity when something is good timing. Number four, they can't tell scams from truth. They are more blindsided. So entrepreneurs who fear risk is because they can't tell a scam for something that is true. You can be presenting something truthful and they think it's a scam. You could present and somebody can show them something that's a scam and they can't tell it's truth. Number five, they are afraid to try anything that has a solution. That's another money risk, because someone's giving you opportunity and they're giving you the solution, but they're still afraid to try it. Number six, they're just afraid of losing money. Right. Most entrepreneurs that don't want to risk money, if you're afraid to lose money, that is just the answer is always going to be no with them. These are no people. These are not yes, yes, yes. No, it's no, no, no. Number seven, long-term goals for money investment. So anything with money risk, they don't have long-term goals. They can't see money investments because they don't know how to distinguish long-term goals to implement money investments. Number eight, they don't understand how to start or how to close when there is a risk. So before you give them the opportunity, say you need to do this risk, they don't understand there's an opening to sales and then there's a close factor. So when you take a risk, you should know how this opening is reading a book, how it's going to open in every area, what the opportunities are opening in every area that someone is giving you with that risk. And then you should also know the closing of that risk, how this is going to close, how this is going to end. Is this going to be productive for you in terms of that money risk? And then there is number nine. They were not taught how to manage money or savings. Some entrepreneurs are just fearful of money risk because they don't know, they weren't taught how to manage money. So you're not going to take a risk. You're going to be fearful because you really don't understand how money works. People know how to spend money. Yeah, but that doesn't mean that you know how money works because you're able to spend money. And then number 10 is no research on a person or the companies. They don't research bad reviews or they don't look to see if the person has licenses. So they're fearful of money risk when they haven't done their research. So they don't look for bad reviews. They always look for good reviews. Bad reviews is very important. And number 11, they never did any kind of sales. So entrepreneurs who are fearful of money risk, they don't understand sales formulas whatsoever. Doesn't mean that they sold products. Doesn't mean that their company, they understood the sales background of a company. And then number 12, no clue about how to use someone else's money to make money. So you're not going to do a money risk because you don't even realize sometimes you don't even have to use your money. You gotta need to know, how do I get to use other people's money to do a money risk, the financial risk. 13, they have a poor outlook with making decisions that give them power. They have a poor outlook. So they don't understand poor decisions don't give you power. So they don't know how to make decisions that would give them power, proper power in their authority. Number 14, they have no patience to go through the process. And that's the other money risk with entrepreneurs. They don't have no patience. I want it now. I just gave it to you. When is the investment deal coming up? When is this money going to make money? They don't understand there's a process when it comes to money. The Federal Reserve has a process of printing money out of thin air is what they do. There's a process to it before it gets into your hands.
Right. I'm loving this. I'm loving this. Right. But there's just a quick question in here. I think there are a lot of questions. There are a lot of questions. With this 14 or 15 points, we will just have to take them one after the other. Probably not onto the issue, but maybe on the subsequent ones, so we dive deeper into them. So what is action? I mean, just a question whilst you were giving the points that so in actual effect, it means that entrepreneurship means taking calculated risks. Is that what entrepreneurship means?
Yes. Yes.
You take a calculated risk. Right. So what happens when you don't do that? When you don't take that calculated risk, you feel that maybe this is an opportunity and that you really don't know the time span with this opportunity that has been, gifted you, and you want to zoom in without going through these steps that you've mentioned. Is it likely that this person is going to crash out, or there is that kind of potential survivor mindset that is going to come out? Maybe they're going to learn along the way.
Yeah, exactly. They put a hold on whatever it is they were looking to build. They themselves stopped themselves. Most people blame other people for not coming into their corner, their support. But they don't look at people give you solutions. But when the minute is mentioned about money and you don't take that risk, it's you that are shutting it down, and it's you that is going to continue to shut it down. Because not all the time, every solution is going to have free money available that you will have to pull. And then when people get free opportunities, sometimes they don't value it. They don't evaluate and look at it. Wait a minute, someone gave you this. Money is tied in the process of everything that we do. When somebody is giving you their free time and their solutions to solve problems, that was money involved with them in terms of them speaking, sowing a seed to you. They didn't necessarily have to put money in your hand. So if you don't value another person's time and then you shut down that, you didn't take a money risk with them, even for the free opportunity that they were trying to pour into you and give you the solution, because that leads you on to the next. So people will continue to be in that limbo because they haven't grown from understanding the risk that you take, the sacrifices that you take. No one can take those for you. No one's going to hand them to you for free. So if you don't take them, at the end of the day, look at where you're going to be at. Then a year from now, the next 3 years, has your problem solved? Have you gotten to where you needed to be if you don't take that risk?
Right. When you don't take that risk. Number 12. No clue to use someone's money to get money. How do you dive into that one?
Well, they call it the OPA, or it's the opportunity really of using other people's money. And in a sales formula background, when you look at people in professions or how they begun, they went to barter, they went to borrow. They did whatever they did. Some people go to the banks to get loan money. Some people look for angel investors. or somebody has a strategic formula for sales where you may have to invest something, but we're going to lend you the rest of the money from other people's money. So there's a lot of opportunity for using other people's money. Most people would not be in business today if they didn't. If you look at most of the major wealthy people who began businesses, and it doesn't matter from the Trump, all these people got investors, they got money into their businesses by doing whatever business plan, whatever proposal, and they got people to invest. And some people don't have all the money, but you use other people's money to begin your journey. So you can't look at, well, I'm not doing this business opportunity, I don't have the money risk myself. But you can use other people's money to start something, but you have to be resourceful. You as an entrepreneur got to know how to go out there and create these resources to find it.
I'm just overwhelmed by this point that you shared with us. Okay, so we're back to the main topic for the day. So how does one kind of trust the system to be able to invest in, so to kind of take this as a side hustle? How does one trust the system, that this system is genuine, even after having all the good reviews? You can take all the bad reviews together with the good reviews. How do you then draw the line between, to know that this is a good time for me to do this kind of investment, this is the right time for me to step into this game that I want to go into, and this is it, this is what I need to do? How do you juggle between that, or how do you differentiate and know that this is the right time for you?
Well, the right time is, you have to be prepared. Your mind, your mental aspect, not just being positive. You as an entrepreneur have to prepare ahead of time. You don't prepare as soon as you log on and you see somebody doing investments and you join in. Were you prepared before? Did you know you want to be an entrepreneur? Did you know that you wanted to create some stability for yourself? Did you know the timing of everything do you understand the timing of everything that you've structured to get to the point? Now I know what it is that I want to do in terms of investments, maybe to grow my entrepreneurship. And then you have to determine, what entrepreneurship business are you looking at to capitalize on? Because there's many investment deals out there, but you have to determine if the proper time is there for you. But it came with research. A lot of entrepreneurs are unprepared because they don't do research. They just wake up the next morning, oh, I want to do this. Seriously? And entrepreneurs are they have creativity. And we are analytical thinkers. If you are not analytical thinker at all, then I don't think you really are an entrepreneur. Because the one thing about it, entrepreneurs who create, who design, you can expect that from an inventor. We wake up the next day, our mindset is always designing and inventing the next day. Oh, I got another idea. I'm laying it out. I'm drawing it. I'm drafting it. But if you're an entrepreneur and you wake up the next day and say, okay, you haven't been to any networking groups, you haven't studied entrepreneurship, and you wake up the next day and say, is this? That's where a lot of failure comes in, because then they take their money, when those who are taking money risks, they blame the next person. Well, you put your money into something that you really didn't understand the business. Entrepreneurs, you have to prepare, you have to research, you have to prepare and know every scope of every business out there before you put your money into it. It's not that you won't take a money risk, but you have to design that process in you. No one can say, okay, we're giving you this process, but you are the one who is the student. You have to study what they give you and make if that's the proper time for you to do such a thing.
Ladies and gentlemen, It is getting hot in here. And Dr. Melissa, the comments and the questions that are coming, I'll just have to now pile them and then start pushing the questions to you. So we start addressing the questions from our online viewers. But before I do that, we want to just take our second commercial break. And right after that, we're going to push the questions that are in the chat to Dr. Melissa, as well as our questions that we have in the studio. So stick around, don't go anywhere. We'll be back shortly.
Need a spark to kickstart your innovation? Looking for thought and talks to get things moving? Wondering how to navigate a future full of change and uncertainty? With the eye-opening stories of digital disruption, extreme customer centricity, organizational innovation, and global shift, our collective of speakers, MCs, and moderators will shift your perspective. Meet our speakers. For booking and interviews, contact us on 0246 054092 or send us a mail info.accessnet@gmail.com. You can also follow us on all social media channels at AccessNet Global, African Seasoned Speakers Network, influencing the next generation of Africans.
Well, welcome back to the Power Impact series. And today I'm here with Dr. Melissa Dotson, and it is mind-blowing. We've shared almost 15 points already. So if you join us, hey, you need to get back to the start of this whole video and watch it again and make your own note, because as I said before we went on the commercial break, it's getting hot in here by the minute. And she's doing it. She's just doing it. She's just hitting it right at where she needs to hit it. As an entrepreneur, you need to stay prepared. You need to do your research. Know the business you're going into. Know the industry you are entering into. Right. So, Dr. Melissa, before you move on to your next point, or before you elaborate more on the other points that we have here, there's this question here. It says that, is it not too much of a risk if you use other people's money? Let's say I use someone else's money to start something, and at the end of the day, I lose everything. Honest.
Well, I can tell you something. I hope if you use somebody else's money, all their money, and you risk it, I hope it's your mother, your father, because they'll be more understanding. But you don't play with other people's money, but you should also have a contract with that person using their money. Don't borrow from someone else's money that you can't afford to pay back. You don't risk someone else's money that you can't afford to pay back. So when you are doing investments in other people's money, there are professional work environments out there that are entrepreneurship platforms where people will sign on, and some people will say, okay, here's the risk. We allow you, we give you this money, you put in a percentage, but a majority of the risk will come from them. It's just like trading platforms. There are companies that have trading platforms. They'll teach you to trade. They're giving you their money, a certain amount of money, to put into that trading platform for you to risk and trade. Now you turn around and you mess up and you're showing you constantly losing money. They're taking the risk, but at the same time, you're out of a trade, you're out of that platform because you didn't study, you didn't work hard enough. You figure you get into something and you'll learn because they teach you. Because someone say they're going to teach you something and they're going to take the financial risk, you still need to learn and study it real hard before you get into it. Because now you're using somebody else's money and you didn't gain anything from it. Now you're out. So there's certain risks that you need to look at and value each one. Like I said, don't play with other people's money you can't afford. And there are traders who've lost people's money. I've had it happen to me. Instead of getting pissed and upset, I had to go make back my own money after they lost my money. And so the whole thing is this: take money risks, but do it when it makes sense and you can see the investment. But you must study it before you take the risk.
Right. You need to study study it before you jump into it, because
Yes.
you need to have a firm. So I'm sure then that goes with people that are doing a lot of do I say cryptocurrency, those that are doing forex and all that. I mean, uh,
Yeah.
you would have studied the whole thing, but then it can drop somewhere along the way. Now, when it happens that way, even though you've studied much about this system, what really sustains your fear? Because you've studied a system and you know this system is that kind of do that sinusoidal curve. It goes up and comes down. But this time around, it's gone down for a very long time. It's not coming up. What sustains you to continue moving on without giving up on such
Right.
ventures that you moving as
And
a
yeah, and that's the thing with entrepreneurs. You must not give up. There are a lot of people who lost money before they became wealthy. You just take the money risk. That's what it's about. You're going to lose money. You have to find out how to get it back, but you have to learn that in the process of taking money risk in any kind of investment, anything that you do, there are going to be some losses along the way. And so we're taking that and understanding it. Don't go and blame your don't go and blame the person. And you don't need to be hard on yourself and have that you blame having poor judgment. Everything that is created in a platform, it doesn't mean that it does not work. It means that you have to find the strategic ability to understand the process. What are you willing to risk? And you will keep some people just keep losing money and then finally they hit it. So many people have businesses, they close it down. There was money risk involved because you're setting up a business. They close it down, but they keep at it. They keep at it. Now, and to point this, MLM, um, which we known as, marketing, the platforms, MLM. Those platforms, a lot of people do them. They think they're entrepreneurs. No, MLM is side hustlers. I want to make that clear. Anybody who does MLM and you're seeing entrepreneurship because you're on any of those platforms, that is a side hustle work. It's a side hustle job. And I need it really to be pointed out because so many people have this thing mixed up. There's nothing wrong with MLM if that's what you want to get into. There are MLM products, there are MLM investment opportunities, there are MLM job markets that portray itself as a job and breaking poverty, which I have one that's part of my company, Breaking Poverty. But people have it mixed up. So if you're an MLM, you're not an entrepreneur. I want you to get this right, unless you're doing something else outside that MLM that you've created businesses you're doing. But it's a side hustle platform. And MLM also, when they're telling you that this is your business, I want you to really think hard. When you sign on to MLM, no, it's not your business. Okay, you need really understanding about this. The reason why it's not your business, think about it. Can you go into the bank and open up an account under that name? No. Can you trademark that name? No. Can you copyright it? No. Can you take that name and file it under taxes? No. Can you even turn around and create and market it on someone else's platform using those credentials, using that name? It's not your business. No matter what they tell you in MLM, you are not starting a business as an entrepreneur. MLM is a side hustle position, no different from the Mary Kay cosmetic products, anybody who sells jewelry and they got to bring you up in another level. It is not a business that is yours because you can turn around, you can't turn around and take their name and change the marketing materials, put your name. It's a lot of stuff that you can't do. So it's not your business. I wish those in MLM stop telling people This is your business. This is your entrepreneur. It's not an entrepreneurship. It's not a business. It is a side hustle. Any MLM is a side hustle. So when you cannot change the dynamics of that business, it is not your business to do what you want. And the people who own it, the people at the top, have the authority to change the policies, the copyrights, the trademark, the regulations. Can you do that? And someone's telling you it's your business? No, you are a 1099. We call it in the US. 1099 means commissioned. MLM is commission. It's side hustle work where you pay on commission. If it was your business, then why can't you file a LLC with that name? If it was your business, why can't you get a corporation? So it's not your business. It's your business to know it, but it's not your business. So I wanted to clarify that.
Wow. It's not your business. It's a side hustle. So you've clearly defined these two words that we're playing with today: an entrepreneur and then a side hustler. And it's perfect. So now we now understand it. Hey, so ladies and gentlemen, the hashtag has already dropped. I mean, but you can suggest a hashtag for today's presentation. But mine has already dropped. I want to hear from you. I want to see yours. And then we can compare our notes to see if we are on the same page. That is Dr. Melissa there. Just a little. Let's show a little bit of Dr. Melissa here. And then you know that this is the woman that is doing the talk. Where did you take this picture?
Yes, that was taken in Ghana. Photographer Coffee Praise, one of the well-known photographers in Ghana. She did the photo shoot for me. Right. And that was about 3.5 years ago.
Okay. All right. So those of our viewers that are joining us from Ghana, specifically the northern part of Ghana, just be waiting for Dr. Melissa anytime soon. She'll be joining you in Tamale very soon. Right. Okay. So let's take our next question that I have here. All right. So this is from Samuel Kwesi Ahin. And he says that, Doctor, please, in managing entrepreneurial risk, how does location, specifically geographical location, affect sales? Can anything get sold at any time or at any place?
Yes, it can. Look at the COVID. We need to understand that when you're an entrepreneur and you set up a business shop, a container anywhere, you need to have the projection and the understanding, that projection, that outlook. Always have a loss, just like you have to on a balance sheet. Most entrepreneurs set up businesses. I see it all the time. Oh, just throw stuff in there, set up a business. They don't even understand balances or losses. They don't understand that on a sales formula. So you need to understand that there are going to be losses. Anything catastrophic can happen in a business, and you need to be able to project those losses. That means you should have along the way, before losses come, a set amount of money, depending on how you construct your business, so you can offset it. No business is 100% guaranteed when you have a location. They can tell you up and move it. They can tell you we're going up on your rent. You can't afford that rent. You may have to move that location. There's a lot of things that we need to look at, so we're not closed-minded. Look at the COVID situation. Look at a lot of things that's happening in the world. So when you structure business, start out and maybe online. Have some things where percentage, and you whether it's Instagram, media, some of your sales is done online. It's so important, because if you try to say everything is functioned by this one location and something happens because you didn't have anything set up, and as an entrepreneur, you should have more than one thing where revenue resources is coming in. And so you have to aim for that goal, because when something shuts down and something is happening or something happens to your business, you have other resources that you can go to keep yourself going. And I'll tell anybody this, as an NGO, the prime example is that I have an NGO. All my resources is me. There's no donations for Heaven Flight. It hasn't been. Heaven Flight has been sustained because of me as a flight, when I was a flight attendant, and I have to sustain it now. And sustaining it now, when I got contractors who I do some work for and they don't pay me, it's affecting my staff. I can end up having my business closed down if I didn't pay ahead of time. So when you have an entrepreneur who set up a business, a container, make sure you paid that rent up for 2 years. And when you get to that next rent, that before that 2 years up, that year, pay it up again. So you will be not a year away, but you'll be another 2 years away. Always stay on top of being a year away. Don't wait till when the rent is due and your lease and your contract is. You should have, so this way you have that business being operational. It can remain open no matter what.
No matter what, it can remain, or it will remain operational. One last one before we move on. This is from Audrey Missy. And she says that my risk tolerance is so low when it comes to money. And because of that, I have missed a lot of opportunities. Dr. Melissa, do you coach?
Yes. Okay, let's put it to you this way. One reason why I don't, when people say coach, I coach from a psychologist field, and I coach from an entrepreneurship field. I coach from a business. I'm not one of those who put life coaches, and people, I had to tell them about that. Entrepreneurs who are doing other things and they're life coaches. Number one, you can't say life coach unless you got a certificate to life coach. And the reason why they require that, because life coaching is someone's putting their mental aspects, everything about them, into your hands for you to have direction. And it goes through a series. So people put coaching, and I always ask people, okay, what are you, a life coach? What are you, right? Because life coach, you really need to have legal certificate operating as a life coach. Okay, so I coach with prior becoming a psychologist. So I coach on the entrepreneurship, the consulting. I give people way out solutions, and my gift is in problem solving. I'm a very intense with detail for an analytical thinker. I can solve any kind of problem you throw at me. If you're really burdened with stuff and you don't know there's a resolution for you, those things I coach in, solving those problems, get into the core, and I can identify what you really should be doing in terms of your risk. And what kind of risk are you looking for? People say, oh, I want to do money, but what kind of money? Then when I get problems, if they have the problem and we get the solution and I coach you about it, you have to be disciplined. Entrepreneurs need discipline. You can't say you're an entrepreneur and you don't have discipline. You need to have discipline in your money. You need to have discipline in who you are to make yourself an authority on something. You really need to have discipline, because money risk involve discipline. And it also involves you, if you have a low tolerance, you need to up it. Meaning, looking at when somebody gives you what type of money risk. You can't say you want to take a risk and you want to do money, but if you don't understand the process of how that money is channeling from one thing to another, how it's going to get you that solution you're looking for. So you need to have, your tolerance needs to come up. And so to building that tolerance, I coach you to understanding what level we need to get you at so you can master what it is you need in terms of investments. I'm only involved in 2 investments that resolve around MLM. Anybody come to me with MLM? And I say this, I am tired of seeing Black people wealth make other people, white companies, rich. That's what I'm going to say about that. I am tired. If you were to remain wealthy, create your own products, build them up if you want them in M&M. But I do not support M&Ms where it's making only the top people in the rich white companies sell their products to bring more and more people on. And this is, I don't want anyone to take this offensive. M&M that I involved in with money risk, if you're low tolerant, that's Touch Life Humanitarian. Touch Life Humanitarian Foundation in Ghana. It used to be Touch Life Global. I support that 100%. Why? Because you're not selling no one's products, you're not buying no one's product, and it's about breaking poverty. So if you are at low tolerance, you need to mentally have the understanding of your poverty needs to be broken for you to understand how to break somebody else's poverty. And the only other M&M is Omega Pro. And I'll do some video on that conversation some other time. Investments, because we don't have an understanding about how low our tolerance is with money. So we're afraid to put it into something. And when we're afraid to put in something because we didn't study the platform, where it's going, what are you looking to get out of it? How long will you be in this? There are people who've been in M&Ms for 15, 10 years, and even at 1 or 2 stages, and they're pushing these people products. Meanwhile, they made millions of dollars. You're okay that you think it's great. Wonderful. I made $4,000 US a year. Let me tell you something. That's cheap money where we US people are concerned, because I can make that in a month. I'm not happy about that type of income. So it's dependent on your low tolerance of what you have. We need to up that so you can understand the value of money needs to be greater than your positive mindset that you have about other things.
That needs to be upgraded. So, ladies and gentlemen, I was looking out for it and I was searching through to see what was going to be our hashtag for today. And, well, I have to, but let me drop one and let me see if it's going to fly with you. Right, so the hashtag for today is you need discipline as an entrepreneur. You need discipline. You need discipline. So that is it. That's the simplest thing, or the simplest way we can go as an entrepreneur and not as a side hustler. Clearly defined. Right. So what are your last words you want to share with us, Dr. Melissa, before we go off this section?
Well, the last word I want to say is that when you are an entrepreneur, please understand there is a process, the discipline factor. You must look for strategy building. Innovators are not entrepreneurs. They're innovators. And people who are innovators, you in turn as an entrepreneur, you need to be an innovator, understanding the process of how innovators work. But there are people who are clearly defined as innovators. That's all they do. They create wealth. They're analysts. Any type of system analyst people, these are innovators. And so we need to understand that when you're an entrepreneur, creativity alone doesn't cut it. You can have all the creativity in the world, but you need to understand your resources out there, how to get them, how to multiply them, how to constantly grow them. And if you don't grow them, a person who has a braid shop or a person who is sewing and making clothes, they will still be a seamstress and have a container shop at the end of the day and have a few clients. Doesn't necessarily mean they have built a full-blown business in terms of manufacturing, procurement, and all of these, and development. So you have to understand where it is you want to go in your entrepreneurship. You have to be able to continue to grow. And so that is one of the things I want. You don't stop growing in entrepreneurship. It's not a 9 to 5. It is a 24/7. When you're sleeping, you should be dreaming of the next product. You should be dreaming of the next thing you need to be designing. When you're sleeping, you shouldn't even be thinking about anything else outside money making that business, because entrepreneurship is 24/7, like a business. We don't get time off in our brains. We may get the relaxation, go on a vacation. So you need to understand that it's a mental thing. No time off. Are you ready for it? Are you ready to risk everything that you have to lay it out to keep growing? Are you ready to risk constantly if you have to lose some money, but you need to take the risk? But before you do it, study it so you don't have money risk. I'm sorry, I didn't lose any money except for that 1,700 trade deal with that guy in Forex, and I had to make my money back because I knew how to do my own trading. But I took a risk and I made my money back. So you have to be able to understand some of the things that you do are going to involve risk, but you have to get out your comfort zone.
You just have to get out of your comfort zone. Entrepreneurship is 24/7. You don't get time off your brain. You don't stop growing. And then you don't stop dreaming of the next product or the next step you're going to take.
Right.
Don't stop dreaming. That is wonderful. And we are so overwhelmed. We are so what do I say to this lovely woman there for this presentation that she's giving us today? We are so equipped. I mean, I love the comments. Some are saying these are powerful punchlines. They are provocative, but they are very, very inspiring, and it's not stopping us from moving on. We are not stopping dreaming. We continue dreaming. We're going to forge ahead as entrepreneurs. We're going to keep dreaming each and every time. But before you go, I think this is just coming from the US. She says that, Dr. Melissa, what is your take on PHP? I don't know what PHP is.
She said PHPs or PhD.
Is that PH? What is it? That's a PHP. Right. Probably we can just do that one later on. I'm trying to get to the person to get me know the full meaning of that. Probably it's just what you said. But hey, that is all we have for today. It has been massive. It has been punchlines throughout. It has been provocative. It has been inspiring. It has been educative. There we've received clarity to most of the things that we've been battling with, things we've been thinking through. But hey, now right, it says people helping people. PHP, people helping people. Yeah.
Well, that is, I can tell you this, is a formula for success. Right. I've been operating in that. You grow from your mental of your growing up. People help it should have been a foundation in your childhood about people helping people. That is a formula of success, is what I was taught. But when we help other people, we have to know everybody that we help, and everybody can't be helped. I used to think I can save every situation in Ghana with every woman. And I work with those in prostitution, off the streets. But sometimes everyone doesn't want the help because they don't want to go through the process. See, in business, there's profits, the process, and the people. 3 things in business should matter the most to any entrepreneur, any business, is the profits, the process, and the people. There's 3 P's. You got to know your profits. You got to know your margin. You have to have a love for the people that work under you. And you must understand the process that you have to go through to get. It's a daily thing. If you're functioning in a business and you don't have those 3 P's, then why do you have a business? Because your employees should be treated just as much, helping them just as much as you would your customers and your clients. So people helping people is a process And from that process, you can grow great profits. Even if all you did was give people, somebody sees the value in you as a person. At Heaven Flight, I give all the time. I can give to the clients, I give to them at the end of the day. But at the same time, without your people, you will never have profits. I don't care if you give 100%. Without people, understanding people, having empathy for people, helping people, loving people, you would never know how to get profits later in life for anything that you've done. You will not understand the process of helping people because you yourself don't understand how to help yourself, so you can't help other people. You didn't grow in childhood to understand. So helping people, yes, it is so valuable. It makes you successful in life when you just gave just a little.
Wow. It's so valuable. The 3 P's in business: profit, process, and the people. So, on that note, I want to appreciate all the people that joined us today or that will be joining us later on to watch this video. That we appreciate you, we appreciate your time, and we say thank you for joining us. And you know what you've gotten from this session. You have been equipped, you have been empowered, and you have been inspired. As I always keep saying, dreams are in levels. Make sure you get to the top level of your dream. As an entrepreneur, never sleep. Get to that level, the topmost part of your dream, and you're going to make it. So that is for you, Dr. Melissa. She does all this. And to book her, contact the African Speakers Network, and then we're going to link you to Dr. Melissa any day, anytime, and you are never going to regret it. She is loaded. This is just the tip of the iceberg. We're going to go into details on all the 14 points she's raised with us in our subsequent sessions. So stick around, don't go. Watch us. Be here next week, same time, and we're going to have another session with another guest. Who knows? It can still be Dr. Melissa or someone else. So thank you so much for joining us. My name has been Ambassador Benjamin Osuanza, and I was here with the maestro herself, Dr. Melissa, giving us all these nuggets. See you same time next week. Bye-bye for now. Have a lovely week, and God bless you all.
Thanks, everyone. Bye now.